What up, guys? It's your boy Victor Santana out here in New Mexico for the first time, checking out these breweries, and now we're here at BOW ARROW, getting ready to do a podcast, but I got here early, so I'm gonna check the scene out. Let's see what's going on. So welcome guys to another week of Drunken Public. I'm your host Victor Santana with two special hosts, Jacob and Adriana, part of the Strain Brew, and a vegan restaurant coming soon. And then we're here at BOW ARROW. You saw our new intro. We're hanging out, showcasing this beautiful facility, and we hang out with co-owner Shyla and Ted.
Yes.
Head Brewer, and he has amazing yeast that I want to talk about later on. It's kind of super exciting. But we're here at BOW ARROW. Thank you for guys coming on the podcast and having us here. Thanks for the amazing beer. I fell in love with that beer that you're drinking. What's the name of that one again?
It's called Desert Revival.
Yeah. So we were talking while we were drinking it. That's the beer you want to showcase to people who are like on the fence about different styles of beers, and that's the one that you can gravitate, bring people into the craft beer scene. And that's a phenomenal beer. And we want more beers like that to bring people in. So you guys like you make more money. So
Point them our way.
definitely, of course. Anybody? So of course we do all parts and promote you guys, but one thing I want to say is what I'm really happy about the craft beer scene here. Like in Dallas, everyone bigs up each other and bigs up what they like. So everywhere we went, they talk about you guys, they like you guys, they support you guys, and all the brew pubs, gastro pubs we went to, the breweries we went to, everybody talked about you.
Yeah, all
so,
the locals, everybody we talked to, BOW ARROW's one of the first ones.
yeah, one or two, everybody's talking about you guys. So I really like that. I'm really excited about that. So a little background about you. You're a co-founder.
Yeah, sure. Well, we just celebrated our 30-year anniversary in mid-February.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank
Congrats.
you. Yeah, it's been an adventure. It continues to be, but it's a fun one. It's a lot of work. Yeah, previous to this, I was actually a social impact investor, so I was investing in other people's dreams, which was an amazing experience. I learned a lot. Also just learned about kind of the pitfalls of entrepreneurship and startups and financing. How do you get something off the ground? That's a very capital intensive business. So kind of brought some of what I learned in that career, which was almost a decade of doing that, to craft beer. And I've been a fan of craft beer since college. Got my introduction to actually German beers first. At Gordon Biersch in the Bay Area. So it started there, and then my curiosity of what makes beer and what are its components, and what how does a Hefeweizen smell the way it does and taste the way it does. So it kind of started there. Was just kind of a side interest and hobby while I pursued investing. But then there came a point when I was ready to pursue my own business, and I learned from many other entrepreneurs that a startup will consume a lot of your life, so it really should be something that you enjoy, because that'll get you through those challenges that you'll inevitably face. So I found that in craft beer, New Mexico is a great place for craft breweries right now. We're just talking a little bit of how it contrasts with some of the neighboring states. So we're fortunate in that we can have an on-site tap room. Right? So we have an opportunity like you have here to really introduce customers to not only the beers but the brand, and kind of really curate an experience around it, which is a really unique opportunity that we take seriously and enjoy. And then also here we can have multiple off-site tap rooms, which is a pretty cool thing. And we can even self-distribute. So those are some things that really made New Mexico, I think, a unique market for pursuing.
It's a big thing
like
we
this.
really like this. We can buy beer here that we like. Try beer. Like, oh, do you guys have this in cans and bottles? Like, yes, we do.
And
I'll take a 6-pack home with me.
Yeah, it's great for us. So anyway, I've done some home brewing, but at the end of the day, this is basically 3 businesses in one, and it's a serious deal for us. So I wanted to ensure that we have a professional head brewer to manage that side of the house.
This beautiful young man right here.
And Ted O'Hanlon has taken the reins in that regard, has been doing an amazing job. And we just really, I think, complement each other. We're on, I think, philosophically the same page. We really enjoy focusing on sourcing local ingredients, as well as really taking an interest in our sour program and exploring native yeasts even from this area, which I think will even further differentiate us and create this unique sense of place.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of what we talked about off air, and we like get really excited.
Off the record.
Yeah. Off the record, that should have been on the record. But yeah, it's all good. But that's the exciting part. This, but that the natural or like local yeast that you cultivate here, it's something special because it's only gonna be found here. It's something you guys have, and it's unique to your style that you bring to the table. I'm really excited because I like that. Similar to another guy that I've talked to before on the podcast named Barry Tillman of Black Man Brew. Is a what we call a gypsy brewer. He brews at different tap houses, but he has his own yeast strain he cultivates, and he's done that for like the last 8 years. And he's really his profession is like, but he prefers the sours, and he has a really good sour series. Unique to anybody else because he has all local yeast that he's cultivated locally.
I think one thing that he mentioned when you were discussing with him when you had a podcast with him, he talks about how he began with like homebrewing first, and that's how you started. How long did you homebrew?
just a couple years.
Really?
I mean, it was more of an interest in learning about just the basic ingredients and styles and seeking out breweries and distilleries anytime we travel. That was top priority on our list, so we visited many places across the country. So it really started there.
Did you guys do like competitions, or was it more of just like for yourself and
For
like
myself,
learning for yourself?
totally just a hobby kind of interest as I had time.
Right.
That's kind of the same thing with you, though, too, right?
Yeah.
You homebrewed, you said, for about 5 years?
Yeah, I homebrewed for about 5 years before I started working in a professional brewery.
Just a long time.
And that was kind of, that was the leap that I was hoping was going to work out. And it did. That was after like a number of starts and stops in careers. I definitely, I worked in IT for a while. I went to culinary school. I was a chef. I worked on a organic farm making goat cheese as an apprentice for a while. And I was really...
Sorry, it's not sounding appealing whatsoever.
I've had it before. It's really good.
I was really adamant about my home brewing. I was really excited about it, and at a time I started brewing in North Carolina, and at a time when North Carolina beer was starting to boom, just after they had raised the alcohol cap in the state from, I think it was like 5.5%. It was really, really low to 15, and breweries started popping up left and right, and I was very excited about one brewery in my town. I was living in Durham at the time. The brewery is called Full Steam, and I just kind of, without any professional experience, submitted a resume, and they got back to me pretty quickly, and I haven't really looked back since. It was a really great opportunity, and
that's awesome.
Everything just sort of clicked. Felt good.
Now, hopefully, you're the king of sour beers in Hopkirk.
He is the king of sour
He's
beers.
gonna be.
We'll see.
You have to visualize it.
I'm gonna say it for you. I'll say it on this podcast for you. The king of sour beers in Mexico and the West Coast. No, we talked a little bit about the sour strain that you're excited about, or I'm excited for.
Right.
It's the honey strain.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of different sources that we're trying to pull from right now in order to create like a mixed culture using native yeast and bacteria. I have 2 native yeast strains that we're going into production with now, one of which was pulled from the premises here, one of which was pulled from a lavender farm nearby.
Okay.
I also have another culture that we're going to be introducing into that mixed culture from raw honey. We're really exploring diversifying our sour program and bringing in a lot more native cultures. To this point, most of our sour beers have been brewed with commercially available strains, and these will be the first beers that we produce with our.
So if people wonder why we keep putting our head on swivels, there's a few babies running around the table. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys can hear them. But that's why we have our head on a swivel.
We're not crazy.
Yeah, and we're not ignoring each other. No, that's exciting though. I really learned from Barry Tillman that you do, especially sours, because I was a big anti-sour person. I don't like sour candy. I don't like the super tartness of certain sours, and wasn't a big fan of those. But when he had his local cultivated yeast that he's worked on for over 8 years, and tried his version of his sours, really changed my opinion of it. And I may have to be, I live in Dallas for over 12 years now, and of course, being local, pollen changes you. Your taste buds and stuff like that. So,
I mean,
that'd be interesting.
that I think there's also like there's definitely a move away from extremely sour beers. People are making beers more approachable, bringing the not seeing as many beers that's sitting at like 3.2 pH or the higher titratable acidities. People are dialing that back and making the beers more approachable, making them more balanced and drinkable. Something you can have view of that you can have daily.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is definitely what we're trying to do.
You're not trying to give me heartburn after one glass.
Yeah.
Right.
No heartburn after one glass. Hey, I have heartburn now. I'm 50 years old. I'm dying. Basically.
Zantac on the IV pole. Going
Yeah. When I leave the house, when I leave here. No, I'm super excited. You said something about lavender earlier. Would you ever make a? Would you ever make a lavender beer?
We've talked about that actually.
Really?
There's so many different varieties of lavender, so we've definitely researched which ones are more conducive to food and culinary uses, because some are like stinky feet, so it's a fine line,
That's a
and there's
good
some
point.
research that
We have
needs to be
someone at this
done.
table who made a lavender beer, which I absolutely hated.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well,
hated it.
First off, it was
Right here.
it was my home brew. It was like my third or fourth beer, but it wasn't even supposed to be like a brewing. It was supposed to be a what is it called? Brewing.
Yeah.
So there's no hops. It's just all botanicals. And I'm thinking just too much lavender got in the fermenter. It kind of smelled a little bit like Myers lavender spray, but it was there. Some
It
people
was a
liked
horrible.
But see, there were some
lavender
people.
beer.
There were some
it.
people.
Who loved it.
The thing about like
Say some. Say
like,
one.
home brewing. The thing about home brewing when you
liked it.
when you share your beer, when you share your beer with somebody and you're a home brewer,
Yeah.
it's just like I feel like I'm just handing you free beer and they're gonna say this is great, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But with his beer, it was literally not good. Like
Yeah.
it just the aroma of it was just immediately
It's too
cleaning.
much.
Yeah.
It was soapy. It was soapy.
So I'm really interested in how you guys go and if it turns out really good.
No, I mean, like Shyla said, there's a lot of different varietals of lavender, and some of them will give you that soapy character that you think of, and some of them are better for culinary applications. We haven't committed to making one yet, but I definitely think if we did, we would do our research and make sure that we weren't
Do some
making
test patches.
It's okay.
yeah, but
Not just going
avoid the soap beer.
Yeah.
If you guys move forward, and you guys pick the lavender, and you're ready for that, we will make a second road trip independent
Okay.
to be here for that release.
For real?
Just for that.
But I do
I'm
think
gonna
that
try
brewing with botanicals is very interesting.
It is, and that's what kind of drew me towards it. I'm just like, oh, there's such thing as beer with no hops. And I'm
Yeah.
like, cool, brew it. Let's try it out. And I think
Yeah.
another thing too is I used my wife's vegan, so I used vegan honey. So it's made from like apples,
Right.
Okay.
and I'm thinking
So
that
it's not
kind of
organic honey.
I'm thinking that kind of gave it a little
What?
good taste. It's
Just kidding.
delicious taste.
What are you trying to say
It
about
was supposed to. It called for honey instead of that, but I just did the vegan honey just to
Yeah.
test
What's
it.
wrong with regular honey? Is raw honey not vegan?
It's just because just how bees are being used to like make more honey and stuff like that. It's kind of like looking at the mass production of like cows and stuff. It's just a personal choice, honestly.
So honey is vegan though.
It's not.
No.
How's it not vegan though? Because
Technically,
it's
it's
no
not vegan.
those no animals is naturally made from the bees themselves.
Yeah.
From the
That's
bees,
it.
that's it.
They
That
produce
makes
it.
it not.
But they're living organisms,
vegan,
so
yeah.
it's like
The honey, but they're not.
But they're-
There's not them though. You're not killing them.
But
still-
it
they're
comes
still
from
fine.
because they use saliva and the pollen and stuff like that to make them.
Yeah.
So it still comes
So
from
there's
the
like
bees.
Yeah.
we need a lot of bees to produce a lot of
First
honey.
of all, we need a lot of bees. Period. They're dying
Right.
off.
Oh yeah.
So
There's
you
different
need,
kinds
so
of
you
bees
need
as
the,
well.
the honey farms anyway.
Okay, Victor.
I'm just saying.
Anyways,
He's been ragging on my veganism this whole
all day in the car.
Not all day, the whole trip.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, one thing that one of the reasons why we came is because I was really excited. I saw like a photograph of you, and then I believe it's like your partner.
Yeah.
And I was just so excited because I'm just like, you guys kind of look like me, you know? So I'm just like, oh my god, like what? This is like the first you know, all-woman Native American like brewery. I'm like, this is so awesome. Like, we have to go visit, and like, it's just so cool to like be next to you, and not like a weird celebrity kind of thing, but it's just like inspirational, you know. And it's inspirational to hear both of you guys. And I don't know if you guys consider yourself artists, but I see it as an art because it's like you guys left previous, you know, occupations and like careers to do something that like
That you like.
you had a passion for. And I'm kind of like, you know, I'm barely gonna turn like 30, you know, and I'm like in the point where I'm just like deciding what I want to do, you know, and I want to start my own business as well. So like to see people that are like doing it is like motivating, and I'm like, we have to stop by. And plus, I love beer, so thank you so much for like letting us come in and do this.
Making the time to come here and be here, and it's really fun to share our passion. I mean, we're usually busy because we're still like a pretty like lean and mean team. So you know, Ted was doing all kinds of different things today, and I was doing all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Picking up like a condenser,
Typical
and
day.
driving the big box truck,
Yeah.
like in traffic.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, it's really nice to actually like take time and kind of reflect on, you know, why we're doing this and you know why we're passionate about this. So yeah, thanks for
You
pulling
guys,
us aside.
yeah, you guys are a big inspiration. I know for me and my wife especially, just because of that. And you guys got just great beer. So everything that I've had so far, I've already almost had everything on the menu.
Yeah.
I'm doing like 5
Really?
ounce
Yeah, we
pours.
did.
So I'm going through it all.
Yeah, we had several different test tasters.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So we're going through it. And everything's been good.
Yes, well, Ted's second year anniversary officially is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, happy early anniversary, man.
Congratulations.
Shots.
Oh God! Don't do it, Ted.
Go to the distillery down
All
the
right.
street.
Yeah, don't do it.
So previous to Ted, we didn't have the skill set or experience at that time to really pursue, you know, sour beers, wild beers in our barrel program. So kind of one of the earliest conversations Ted and I had you know, hiring Ted, it was like just, you know, we wanted to pursue a place where I think there was alignment. And I wanted someone to come in who also had that level of passion and interest to really push the envelope, you know, make some unique beers that haven't been made before, incorporate local indigenous ingredients. And so with Ted's culinary background too, his experience at Full Steam, there was like such alignment with us. So when he joined us, we put a stake in the ground, and you can see our tagline and like our website and various other places are we.
Beautiful website, by the way. Side note,
Yes,
beautiful
yes.
website.
That's Missy. In terms of people wearing many hats on our team, I just saw her pop in, but she's
She's in it now.
her full-time gig is a physician, but she's still very creative. So she and I are tag teaming all the time, every day on our social media. We take merch items anywhere we travel and take photos and stuff, and kind of have a little stockpile of images that really play into the brand.
Sure, you guys are definitely really good at attention to detail. Like, I mean, just the background here.
Exactly. I was gonna say that's why we're sitting right here, right now, because there's a beautiful background.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed when I came in. I was like, I love that picture of that background. The buffalo head. You guys' tap handles.
Top handles are super cool.
Yeah,
super
with
eye-catching.
Yeah, the leather that goes over the top.
There's
handle
like
is
one
awesome.
detail that I really like, and it's the buffalo head. So
It's
why?
where we disagree.
I don't know why we disagree.
I'd rather have the buffalo,
Sir.
actual buffalo head there.
So I was reading like an article, and was it your grandfather who said, you know, always look forward, and you know, within a storm, always look forward.
Yeah.
And when I walked in here, I'm vegan, so I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be like a real buffalo, and it's not. So
It's really meaningful to have that. It's like for me a daily reminder of that lesson that my grandpa taught us. So I'm originally from North Dakota, so we have like the prairies and the grasslands, and he raised buffalo when we were kids. We would ride in the back of the pickup truck, and he'd drive us out to them, and he would actually walk among them, which was amazing in hindsight, but at the time it was like, oh, that's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
do. But
Definitely.
it's a little wild, but he would tell us about how in the fiercest blizzards and storms that buffaloes, they face the storm, they don't turn their back on it. So he was telling us in life you'll face challenges, he said, remember to be like the buffalo. And so that's always been something that has stayed with me. Whenever I do something that's challenging, I just remind myself of that. So starting a business in a very competitive industry, it's a nice reminder just to keep focused and keep
No, we all like the story. I just really wanted a buffalo head just to mess with her, like a real buffalo head. The creature's already dead. It's already dead.
Yeah. So, but yeah, throughout the tap room, you just see a lot of, I don't know, kind of references to the landscape and land and nature, and that's something we like to reiterate because we have a reverence for it and respect for it. So, and then also, we like to incorporate elements of the Southwest too. So this image is Monument Valley. It's sort of quintessential Southwest. It's a lot of like old Western films and everything. People always
That's
kind
what
of
I thought it took. Like I knew from Western films. My grandfather is passed away now, but when I grew up on his farm, we watched. All he did was he didn't speak English, only Spanish, but he watched John Wayne movies, which is always in John Wayne movies in the Westerns.
Yeah.
But he did that trail.
It's like always in the background too.
Always in the background,
the
yeah.
covers and stuff. You got John Wayne, and then you got something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that in the background. So I took the video of that. So our intro showcased that, and also in our intro, with all the attention to detail, is the beautiful landmarks we have in the picture frame there. And then you have the American flag there, which is beautiful. And the pool, we debated about pool for about 20 minutes.
That kind of just happened.
Yeah.
We
The pool
took it off
table?
our friends'
Somewhere
hands.
to relax.
Well, originally that was just like a little meeting space for people to get together. There's like table and chairs and stuff. And then we had a friend who just kind of was like, "Oh man, I have a pool table on my flatbed, and I don't know where to put it now because his friend gave it to him." So we're like, "We'll help you. We'll take it off your hands." And we were like, "Well, let's just put it in there."
It just adds to the ambience of just like relaxation, and you're just hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
You know? There are some breweries that which I will not mention, that we went to, and it felt very like I don't know, serious, and
The one we don't like?
yeah,
The only one we don't like.
yeah,
Only
and
brewery we don't like.
Yeah.
it's nearby. Just kidding.
It's nearby.
And it's
we tell you off air.
it's part of the experience to have like a comfortable like area to be in, and just to have approachable people that talk to you,
Yeah.
and that it's just, why would you want to go into a brewery that's very like still, very cold? It's not fun.
That's one thing I really like about breweries versus like wine places, or like I bartended for many years. I worked for country clubs for a while, and I'm not a big fan of wine places. And then when it comes to distilleries for whiskey, rum, and some of that, it's a very dry place, very serious place. It's not a place you want to go hang out, even if they do have a tap room. Like the Dominican Republic has many tap rooms in their rum areas, or rum places. But it's not that appealing. It's just a very industrial looking place that you can hang out. I fell in love with craft brewery because it's the complete opposite. It's a serious place. You guys do serious work, but you also connect to the community and you want to hang out with your customers. You want to make them feel comfortable being here. Will it be different artworks? Will it be entertainment games here or stuff like that? Not just the good beers you guys have, but also something you want to come here. You want to bring your friends here. Your friends come out of town like, oh, let's go bow and arrow and hang out. It's a beautiful place.
So returning back to like the difficulties in the Buffalo, what are the biggest difficulties that you guys as like a brewery have had that are just, what were those difficulties that you guys have had that have made you feel like, oh my God, I don't know if I can move forward, or,
Is this really what I want to do?
yeah.
There's a few areas. I mean, we can talk to it in terms of beer and the stake in the ground that we've put since Ted joined us. We're like, we brew wild sour and barrel aged beers in the heart of the American Southwest, and that comes with it some challenges because these wild yeasts and some of the sours, there isn't necessarily like step by step. Here's how you do it, because there's still a lot of unknowns. So I think Ted's taken on some of those challenges, and some of it is just learning as you go, kind of trial and error.
I think for me, a lot of the challenges are because we want to be unique and we want to be who we are. Is finding where that line is where we are being ourselves, but people are still buying our beer.
Yeah.
You
get
can
it.
push things too far and make something kind of esoteric that people don't necessarily respond to, even if it feels like something genuine that you're creating.
Right.
And we've got to, it's a business, and we need to, sell beer, but I think one of the reasons why people do respond to what we're doing is because we're not trying to be anybody else. We're trying to make our own beer, our own way, and But for me, I guess that's the toughest thing, is always trying to find that line where we're doing something unique, we're doing something that, not necessarily only we can do, but something that's true to us, but that people around us are still going to respond to in a way that makes sense for us to do it, because it is a business.
Right.
First and foremost, yeah.
We were talking about how in Dallas we have like pretty big breweries down there that really experiment a lot with like the flavors and the styles, and it's almost like a competition of who can do the most different thing, who can do the sweetest thing, the spiciest, or it's just like who's top dog in experimenting. And I think Martin House is one of our top dogs. I don't know if you want to bring in one.
As far as being different,
experimental with their beers.
Definitely. Collective was there. They dropped off tremendously this year. Don't know why. I haven't talked to them yet personally, but they dropped off. But there were another one that was experimental place. Every batch was a different batch. Really throwing it. Kitchen sink.
A lot of funky stuff.
A lot of funky stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of different funky sours.
Now I know we kind of talked about earlier, Ted, but kind of want to get your opinion on it too. What do you guys think about the haze craze? I know y'all got one kind of haze beer on tap right now, but are you guys kind of embracing it? Are y'all going to look to do more things like that, or is it just kind of?
We've embraced it. I mean, we love beer. We love like experimenting and seeing like how do you achieve that, and what are some different ways to achieve? Because there's many different ways to to achieve that, and we've gone through I don't know how many hazes now, 3, 4, 5. 4 or 5. Yeah.
I like for me, I think we've had conversation about this many times, that we want our beers to be drinkable and approachable. Even if we're doing something interesting with a native ingredient or anything like that, we want people to still approach it like they would any other beer, that they can sit down and drink it and enjoy in a collective atmosphere. I really like that about the hazy IPAs. Whatever is happening with the style outside of this area, it's bringing the bitterness back, dialing the bitterness back. It's making those beers more drinkable, more approachable. More people are drinking them than people were drinking West Coast IPAs. I think that fruitiness of them is appealing to people.
Right.
And there's a lot of ways that they can become, gimmicky or whatever. But I think that that more approachable style is just good.
Right, you want to give your consumers what they want.
Yeah.
So if there's a craze, all for it.
And I don't want something that's just going to kill your palate after a beer or two, and those beers don't.
It's also crushable. You can drink many back to back.
Yeah.
At your safety of your own house, not at the brewery.
I mean, they are really intense in flavor, and so after you have several of them, they might start to taste the same. But I think that I often think when I'm writing recipes a lot about food and how it pairs with food, and with the hazy IPAs, I definitely feel like it pairs better. It's not something that just wipes your palate out and you can't taste other things. It will complement other flavors as well. And it's not the end of the evening when you have one of those. You can rebound and have a saison or something like that.
For sure. Yeah.
Or switch over to a stout, because I'm a big stout guy. What I want to compliment the community of New Mexico, and especially Albuquerque, that we've been traveling a little bit. There's no real lock on a craze, which we talked about earlier with you. There's no real hazy craze, because I was just really disappointed with one of my local breweries I'm in love with. They put a poll out there to see if they could do another hazy IPA or a brand new style, or a different style that they haven't produced yet. And everybody voted for a hazy IPA. I'm like, come on, they already have one. Why do we need more? That's the whole craze in DFW right now. It's always hazy IPAs.
But there's so many different types of hops you can explore.
Right.
Hazy isn't like a one-dimensional style.
Yeah.
This is my biggest disappointment with hazy IPAs. No matter what variants of hops, because Tubbs, shout out to Tubbs, they have a DBA series, and every DBA series has a different combination of different hop flavors. All taste the same. If you get DBH1 to DBH8, no matter what you do, this might be more citrus forward into it, but after a while, it all kind of flows together. And it becomes interesting, but when you do it back to back to back to back to back, you can't really get it. You can't really taste it. And that's what the craze is for the community is right now, which I'm disappointed in, but I'm not the consumers. You do what you want to do. You're buying it from breweries, you keep doing it. But
You're not the only consumer.
yeah, I'm not the only one, but I'm just disappointed in it. I want people to be different.
But I think kind of piggybacking off of that, what I really like about you guys is y'all don't really, as far as
As a
Albuquerque,
community.
none
Yeah,
of y'all
yeah.
give an F about y'all embrace the hazy crisp, but you're like, you know what, we like these other styles too.
Exactly.
We're gonna have more of these on
Yeah.
tap.
Yeah.
We have more
got-
saisons on tap than we have hazy
That's-
IPAs.
Yeah, you guys got crazy saisons, and they're all good. I like saisons. I like messing with the sours. I like the funky boys. Like, I like having those types of beers, the tartness.
Especially because we don't get it at home as much. We don't
We
get that.
don't. I mean, we could drive 2 hours
We
and
get
go
sours,
to.
but not saisons. We don't
Not
get good
saisons, yeah,
at all.
not a lot of saisons.
Right.
A couple sours here and there. I mean, we can drive to Austin and go to Jester King, but
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Jester King.
I'm not a big
That's
fan
just
of
me.
Jester King either.
That's
Which
just
is,
my
it's
personal style.
blasphemy in Texas.
Yeah.
You're like, you're not a fan
That's
of Jester
blasphemy
King?
in America.
Yeah.
Exactly. They were rated like number 3 brewery in the United States, something like that. But I like that y'all have different beers. Like, we went to La Cumbre and they had the West Coast style IPAs and they were really good. They had a hazy one and we bought it, but I just like that. I mean, we haven't been drinking any hazy, so we had one hazy. So
We had one. We had
Two
today.
Yeah.
At 2 different places, which is 2 different variants of the haze, which was interesting. That's why we like it. But you know why it makes it interesting? Because not every tap room we go to has 6 hazy IPAs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we've
can
got
taste the difference between one and the other
Right.
Yeah.
in various hops.
we've got 2 breweries that they've got like their whole tap room is just hazies.
Yes.
That's all they've got. They got like 6 or 8 hazies and then like 1 stout or 1 lager or something like that. So
I think the Albuquerque beer scene is pretty trend resistant. It's pretty classic,
Yeah.
and people's tastes are more traditional, more classic, and so it allows us to make hazy IPAs, but we don't have to overdo it. You know, it just enters in our lineup,
Yeah.
which is more geared towards mixed culture beers, saisons, or lagers, or things that we're more passionate about, that we think maybe jive more with us and our philosophy about beer. But I definitely have had plenty of hazies that I enjoy, and when I brew hazies, I try to brew kind of hazy that I would want to drink.
yeah.
I like the one that we have on tap right now. We did was it was a collaboration with Ex Novo out of Portland, and it was a really great experience because I think their head brewer and I were kind of had similar ideas about what made hazy IPAs desirable. The high protein, the
Right,
body
right.
that you get out of them.
Yes.
That's not necessarily derived from the sweetness. That's a lot of the wheat and the oats and things that you use in that beer that create this silky mouthfeel to complement the juicy hops. And that was a great experience, and I'm really happy with that beer right now.
It's a solid. It's a solid one. Definitely.
We tried that one. It was really good.
I think our just interest in the culinary side of things also kind of shine through pretty bright here in the Albuquerque scene. I mean, we have embraced the pastry stouts, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a series actually. We have a series, and
Yeah.
it's this, we're on the Churro Bandit right now, so it's like
Yes.
something Bandit, and we started with the German chocolate cake inspired stouts, imperial
Which
stout.
we rebrewed today.
Yes, we come full circle.
That we ready.
We'll take that now. Don't carbonate it. We'll take the yeast,
We can carbonate
everything.
at
We'll
home.
carbonate it
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, we'll flocculate that at home. Don't worry. We'll cold crash. It's okay.
Oh, man. But that's something that we've had a lot of fun with. It's pretty unique, and we've kind of set, I think, an expectation with the customer base that ongoing, we're going to experiment, we'll have part of the series, and people have loved it. So Cake Bandit, the German chocolate cake, was the first, and then we did Waffle Bandit, which was a Belgian waffle-inspired stout.
Side note, I had Belgian waffle for breakfast, so I would love that style. I have Belgian waffle for breakfast
Oh yeah.
with a chocolate cake. So, goes hand in hand. That was my breakfast.
This would pair really well with that.
Yeah.
You may not even need an actual waffle with that beer. The
I'll
next
just take the
was-
beer. Yeah.
Well, the next was Breakfast Bandit. That was really delicious. So that was 65 pounds of the classic glazed Krispy Kreme donuts, and then we partnered with the local coffee roaster. That was crazy. And then we got the churro, and then Ted just today.
Yeah, we did the second batch of, and it's it's a learning experience, and the recipe that we did for the German chocolate cake stout this year is very different than last year's. We had a lot of valuable lessons learned last year in how to how to simulate that character, how to create that, you know, that cake-like body to the beer that people want, and you know, to get the most out of the adjuncts that we put into the beer and the freshest flavors, and it's definitely. I think this year's batch is going to be better than last year's batch, and I think that, you know, like a lot of our beers, when we're kind of trying to figure these things out, you know, as they go on, they get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And our hazy IPAs have gotten better. Our pastry stouts have gotten better. You know, the mixed culture beers have completely changed since I first started. You know, it was very simple, and I think I was trying to create classic styles or things that I think we were all already familiar with. And now we're starting to push boundaries a little bit, especially with the introduction of our wild yeast culture that we're bringing into the beers, that we can let those beers let them go and just become what they are. They'll become our beers from this place.
So exciting.
And this one makes it art.
Definitely. I like when you said that earlier. I didn't want to jump in, but yeah, I like that. You really like it. Really good deep talk, and I was like, oh, I like that. It is art. It is an art, and that's what made me gravitate to the beer community. It's the passion for people like you, passion for you to pursue something like this and work at it. You know, I know for me, it's not something that I would have a passion for, but I appreciate your passion for it, and I really enjoy the work that you guys do. And I really enjoy the beers you guys produce today, especially that one.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
good. That one's good. And I just love the fact that that's what beer and like brewing is you get to work at that. It may not come out right the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on a bigger scale on you, so it's just kind of like if it doesn't come out, you're like, versus 5 gallons at home, you're kind of like, okay, that's okay, we can just fix it.
I always want for our beers to turn out the best that they possibly can.
Oh, for sure.
But I get the most enjoyment from what I'm doing when I'm learning lessons.
Yeah.
When I'm learning things and I'm getting better at what I'm doing.
Agreed, 100%.
And you don't get better at what you're doing by making something perfect.
Yeah.
You know, you critically analyze what you're doing and you try to improve upon it. And that's what I get the most fulfillment from what I do.
I don't know how you feel, but I'm my own worst critic.
Oh yeah.
Every beer I've had, I'm just
sure
like, this is
Shyla could
disgusting.
tell you about times that I told her this beer's terrible. This beer's terrible. But it's actually, you know, it's not. It's just at that moment I'm like,
Yeah,
this isn't
what I
this
want.
isn't what I was trying to achieve.
This is not what I want right now.
Everybody's their own worst critic, because I'm the same way about everything I produce for the podcast. Same thing with both of y'all for when you go to the first homebrew competition. I'm like, oh, you're going to win the competition. You don't win for this. And you guys got second place. I'm like, and y'all looked at me like, you didn't believe in me. I'm like, I was the only one who said you're going to win.
Yeah.
The only one hyping
We
us
made
up.
a American wheat ale with pear.
Which was delicious.
It was like fresh pears. And then he also made a mango kolsch. So we like the mango kolsch a lot better, but for some reason the pear
So
one,
did
and we're just
I.
like,
So
what?
did
I'm like,
I.
I'm going all for it. Like, yes, you know, but I was like, really? Like, you like this better than that? But it's all about what
I like the
others
mango
like.
coach for a different reason. The mango coach was delicious, but they named it after me, so I fell in love with it. Yeah.
He's not being biased at all.
Not biased at all. So, what are part of the lessons? So when you do have to pitch a beer or it doesn't work the way you want to, what is the thought process of working it out? Do you have a panel tasting it and everybody writes their own critiques, or you're in alone critiquing it?
I mean, we definitely will taste it together. We'll discuss it. I mean, I've probably already made up my own opinions on it at that point. But it's always important to get somebody else's opinion and to talk it through, and then you can really start to analyze your own critique too and say, is it really this? You know, it's actually pretty good, and I'm just down on it because I had this vision in my head and it achieved 90% of that.
Yeah.
And that 10%
Yeah.
shortfall is just devastating.
Yeah.
Too much.
It's bigger than that 90%.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, but both of you guys, when it comes to critiquing, when you have customers critique your beer, or they may not like it, how do you guys receive that information? I have a few brewers that I know. I have a few brewers I know personally that do not always receive the information the easiest. But I feel like that's part of the community. You have to be part of it. So how do you guys do it?
I mean, definitely, we're not these people who are like, oh, we never check, we never use. We do, but you know, some of it's like total like bullshit where it's like this was the one review I will always remember, and it still like infuriates me because it was not helpful. It was like, this tastes like cold bile. It's like, who's drinking cold bile?
Yeah.
Like, how can you? I mean, it's so extreme and out there that it's like not helpful in any way whatsoever. So those kinds of reviews are like sort of throw it out, but there are some where it's like, okay, maybe we'll think about it, taste it again, taste some, maybe it's this particular keg that had some issue or something. So we're open to it. But
Do y'all get reviews where people are like, I don't like this beer because I don't like IPAs?
Yes.
And they're reviewing it.
We get that. We get that
That's
all
the biggest
time.
one.
I just don't like saisons.
Yeah, I just don't like
I don't like
saisons.
coffee beers or whatever it is, and it's not a constructive criticism, and you can just kind of ignore those.
Yeah.
You might be annoyed that they're pulling down your average score from whatever format you're looking at, but they're not constructive, and they don't really. You don't need to focus on those. For sure.
I'm a big anti-untapped because of that. People always, I'm a big critic about beer because I like a certain style of beer, and I always think it should be well balanced. But I would never look at an IPA and be like, you know what? I hate IPAs, so it was a shit IPA.
Yeah.
My critique, if I like it, like, you know what? For me, not liking IPAs is actually a really well balanced IPA, and I can tell you why I like it. But I like to do it personally, but I have the opportunity to do it with you guys and tell you personally. But I never find like if you don't like it, you don't like it. Why rate it if you don't like the style?
Well, people also have their own set of their own standards.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I will
absolutely.
never rate a beer higher. Some people are saying I will never rate a beer higher.
Oh, I've
than
met them. They were
3,
never over a
3.5,
4.
So it's all sort of relative in the end.
And some people are all in the 4s. If it doesn't hit a 4, it's a terrible beer.
I personally my thing. I wouldn't rate a beer on a taster. I need, I don't know, at least a 5 or 10 ounce pour, not just a little sample, and then someone will rate 10 beers off of tiny samples. I think that's unfair. So that's my own thing.
Sure.
If someone rates it as a taster, I'm like,
As far as when you
even
guys
drink
taste beers, maybe your own or somebody else's, what I like to do is get 10 ounces plus, drink it cold, fresh, let it sit for 15-20 minutes, then drink it again. If I didn't already finish it, try it again when it's all the way warm and get a full palate. That's what I try to do at home too. What are your weird critiques when you try to taste beer?
oh, it depends on, I guess, the style too. I mean, some places I've gone will, serve it in a chilled glass or whatever, which is kind of whatever. So you might do your own thing. You might cup it, give it time like you did to achieve a temperature where you can actually appreciate the aromas, the flavors. So I mean, that's kind of thing. Just sort of adjust to the situation.
I think for me, I picture my tongue in my brain, and then I'm like, what spots is this beer hitting?
That's a good description.
And then I think about it, I'm like, okay, so it's a little bitter, but it also has this flavor. So I always picture my tongue and what my taste buds, where in my tongue am I feeling the taste,
Oh yeah, that's
what I
a good way of
think.
doing it. Yeah, I like that.
Other than
It's a visual.
sniffing and
I do enjoy this. I do smell it. I used to be so. If you ever watch this podcast, check the older episodes. I used to be like, fuck sniffing. Who needs to smell a beer to taste it? Now as you go episodes in, I'm like,
Swirling, drive by.
I don't do swirl.
Do the
I
drive-by?
don't do the swirl. I don't do the
Swirls?
drive-by.
That's
I
right.
hate
Gotta
with
get
the
that
swirl for that.
carbonation on, man.
No, I do a sip. I do a sip and I come back to it after a sip again. I don't do swirls. I'm still not all the way into it because I'm not rating the beer. I'm not going on tap to rate it, or I'm not judging it. So I don't need all of it. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. So yeah, but I'm all into the beer now. I'm like, what am I smelling here?
Getting
Smell this. What are you
everything
smelling? Before I even drink it for 5 minutes.
Yeah. For me, it's I never do a one and done taste. I'll never taste it and be like, oh, I don't like it. Give it away from me.
Right.
My brother's a big person that does that. He likes Michelob and Bud Light and all those watery no flavor beers, and he'll drink something.
no hate towards those beers. But
No hate, so little hate. He'll drink.
A lot of hate towards those
He'll take a sip of it. And he's like, no, no. And I've done that before. I've had a beer, taken a sip, and I'm like, oh, I don't like it. And I've come back to it. I'm like, you know what? This is actually really, really good. It's warmed up. I get the flavors, and I can appreciate it a lot more.
I'm a big proponent to let people know if I drink something like that's off, but I just had a different beer, or I just finished eating something, let me drink some water first, and we come back to that and continue the conversation while I'm waiting to reset my palate.
I do have a 3-sip rule, especially when it comes to sours. That's if someone's new to sours, I'm like, okay, just you have to at least take 3 sips, like, because for some people it's a shock to their palate because they're just not used to that level of acidity. So I think the 3-sip rule is a good one, especially when it comes to sours.
Definitely.
I don't think I've ever like said no to a beer, but there has been one beer that I've said no to.
I've been just 2 beers recently I've said no to. It's very rare for me not to take
it was a guacamole wheat beer.
Oh wow.
Like guacamole, not avocado, guacamole.
Oh,
like
okay.
Tomatoes, onions.
Okay, there's not avocado
all
and
those
all the
flavors.
fats and the avocado
And it just
in the
kind of
beer.
like-
Oh, it's in there.
I
That's in there, yeah.
I felt that beer in my throat. Like it was in my throat, and I'm like, dude, this is like I had tacos at like 2 in the morning, like vomited the tacos.
And it's all in there.
That's
It's not a
what
good
this
feeling.
beer tasted like. And so I asked like the lady who was serving it, the beer tender. I was like, hey, what do you think about this one? She's like, I really like it. And I was like, really? I was like, what do you like about it? She's like, well, I love guacamole. And I'm like, I love guacamole, but like
this
I
does
don't know
not
if I
taste like
like my
guacamole.
beer.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's so good. We're actually gonna do a spicy one now, and I'm just like in my head like, what are you guys like doing? But it's just like they're so experimental, which I love. But that was the only beer that I was like, I can't.
Off
I
the
can't swallow
record,
that.
off the record, who was it?
I can't tell you. It's a DFW brewery.
It's off the record. Now, when I say off the record, I'm gonna cut that part out.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. It's intrinsic.
Intrinsic?
Intrinsic.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of intrinsic.
No, they've got great stuff. They've got some really good things. Just
I like their barbecue. That's about it.
Barbecue is delicious.
They make barbecue there.
Yeah.
So, any brews you guys want to do that you haven't done yet?
Beers.
Yeah, anything on the list
Let's see.
that you can
In
tell
terms
us?
of unique flavors and things. I mean, with regards to like the barrel program,
Beautiful barrel program, by the way. I wanted to talk about that earlier, but I forgot to mention it. Like, it's literally barrels. When you walk in here, barrels right behind us. And
And he said they were all sours.
yeah.
right? Well, we've got so the ones on this side because we like to create some. Obviously we have one production area, so we're doing both clean and drinking beers out of the same facility. So we do try to create some level of separation. So the beers on this side are the traditional sours, so like pedio and lactose and Brett over here. And then the Brett beers are the ones mostly on the other side of the glass, on the inside, and then by the entryway. But I think we have around 70 barrels in
Yeah, that's a
rotation.
big program. Yeah.
Yeah, we, like I said, when Ted joined us, we put a stake in the ground. We're like, we are going to pursue these beers. And we like barrels for the ability to sort of like isolate and potentially start blending over time.
That's really cool.
So that's really exciting, but we mostly have neutral red wine barrels. We've got a few whiskey barrels that we've used. I think we're at the third or fourth beer through the whiskey barrel, so we're doing actually a dark sour at this point, which we're really excited about.
I've never had that.
So it sounds like we need to make another trip to come back here. There's a lot of beers to come back and try.
We do. So Desert Revival was the second out of our traditional sour program. So those are coming along really nicely. We've got one we're going to be doing soon, Reset with Navajo tea. So again, kind of getting back to some of the unique local ingredients. So we foraged along with some friends. We engaged, I don't know how many pounds of Navajo tea. It was a lot.
This year?
The past season.
About 20 pounds.
20 pounds, which dried is a significant amount.
Yeah,
It's a
a
lot of
lot.
volume.
Yeah.
So one of those, those special ingredients will go into a
So what is Navajo tea? What's in Navajo tea?
So one of it's otherwise known as green thread,
Okay.
Indian tea, coda. So there's
Okay.
a few names for it, but it's almost got a bit of it's definitely herbal, like along the lines of a chamomile. And so we were doing some experimentation on like how long to boil it for, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So we think optimally it's on the longer side. So still some of these things, a lot of these ingredients haven't been incorporated in these ways before. So we're still kind of learning how to best use some of these special ingredients.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
It's really cool. How big is y'all's brew house?
It's a 15 barrel.
15 barrel? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. For nobody that knows on the podcast, a barrel is what, 31 and a half gallons?
31.
31 gallons is a barrel. So do the math.
We're
Pretty
able
big.
to, we're able to do a lot of these fun
years with
things.
that big of a system.
It's a 15, yeah.
Yeah.
But we, 90% of our revenue comes from the tap room.
Yeah.
So people come in expecting something new and interesting,
Yes.
and so it's a nice balance.
I still really appreciate the difference between BOW and beer, because I feel like the brewer friends I do have, most of their revenue comes from distribution, because they can't sell beer to go on their tap rooms. So they do some experimental things in tap room only, but most of their revenue comes from distribution.
Which makes sense. I mean, it was just a couple of years ago, I think, that they were able to have a tap room.
Yeah.
It's my
Yeah. I
understanding.
think so, yeah.
Whereas
I
here
think
is
so.
your business
I think it
model
was
is
like-
like, this is your bread and butter.
Yeah, this is it. This is where you're making all your money. You're not having to give it to somebody else. Hopefully they don't, pardon my French, fuck up your beer on the way
Right.
by storing it in hot, like warehouses and stuff
Weird
like that. So
temperature,
you can keep control. You got more control of all your stuff here versus having to do that.
We like that.
Because I've had beers in Dallas to where I'm like, this does not taste the same as when I had it at the brew.
Oh, definitely.
Because it just sits in a hot warehouse. They're shaking it around.
Yeah.
Everything's just crap.
Yeah.
So
We self-distribute, so we do have over 50 draft accounts between Albuquerque and Santa Fe, but we self-distribute. So, in addition to sending beer back and forth, we're maintaining our own lines, which is really important
Yes.
so the quality and the delivery of the product as intended. Because, we've taken over some gnarly handles where, maybe they don't have the same processes.
No, I've walked to a few places in BMW where I'm like, I'm not drinking this beer. I refuse to. Your lines are fucked up. I'm not drinking that beer. And they're like, excuse me? I'm like, I don't want another beer. I don't want anything else here. I'm gonna drink vodka on the rocks, whiskey, something. I'm gonna drink anything else. I'm not drinking beer. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, it's happening. You don't clean taps.
Yeah,
clean the lines.
we're pretty adamant about it.
Yeah.
We clean our lines every week
It is big.
here.
It's one of the advantages of being in a state that allows self-distribution is that pretty much all the breweries here are just as serious as we are, and it creates a better customer experience. When you're not relying on a distributor or the actual account, the bar themselves to clean their lines. When each brewery takes it on, take it upon themselves to clean the lines to make sure that their beer at each account that they're at is going to be at the best that it can be.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing. I think that's one of the advantages of self-distribution. Other than obviously not having to negotiate contracts with
No
distributors and worry if you're actually in their portfolio, if they're somebody they actually care about or not.
That's good. That's another. I just realized that you guys majority of people here self-distribute. Yeah, I'm sorry, mumbling. But it's a complete opposite in BMW in Texas in general. It's Anderson, Full Clip. They do majority of the distribution for local breweries. And I like the self-distribution aspect of it, because you guys do control it. And then majority of the profit goes back to you anyway, because you don't have to cut a middleman into it.
Right.
Well, the regulatory environment shapes business models.
Right.
The way people do business is a result of how they're told, like, this is the sandbox you can play in.
Yeah.
So, I like ours here in New Mexico
Yeah,
for
we've
sure.
got a lot of good laws.
I like your laws too. I like it.
It's beneficial. It's benefit, and it's part of why we have such a thriving craft beer scene.
Yes. Yeah.
And people are very proud of the craft beer scene here. There's not always a lot of acceptance of out-of-state brands when they try to, like regional breweries or national breweries, when they try to move into this market.
That's one thing. That's right. I've not seen that.
I've seen one. I've seen one at a gas station coming through the mountains.
You don't see a
There
lot
was
of it.
a Carbach.
People are really proud of New Mexico beer, and they should be because it's really good.
Yeah.
Keeping it local.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is good for everybody.
No,
Right.
but actually being in Albuquerque, I've yet to go to a brewery outside of being like Bud Light. I'm talking about like craft beer out of market. I haven't seen any at all.
You have to go to a specialty store for it, usually. I mean, there's plenty of bars that you can find things at, but we don't have a lot of craft beer bars that focus on out-of-state breweries. That really just only a handful, and in the Albuquerque metro area or in Santa Fe as well.
Wow. I also like that too.
They're really big fans of Taver,
Yeah.
which is basically like where they get to ship all kinds of different beers to them. I think that's really cool.
I love it.
That you're able to like share, and you don't have to rely on somebody that lives there to be like, "Yo, can you send me this?" or have to drive. Which was this was a cool experience, but you know, it's nice to be able to.
I really like the experience. So how can we get you guys to BMW? How about that? How about that?
We gotta feed the thirsty masses here first.
Okay. All right.
So, you know, we're scaling up our production
So-
and looking at packaging.
You need to control 90% of the market. Got it. So how can we get you about 90% of the market?
Let's just find you guys a little small warehouse over there, and we'll get you guys over to tap. Man. That sounds awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I know the guys at my hand project. They have plenty of warehouse space. So, I'll speak for Carl.
Well, I appreciate you drumming up the demand first.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Priming the pump first.
Yeah, there we go.
No, definitely. I would love the day to see you guys in BMW, but until then, I definitely would not mind flying or driving back out here again. It's phenomenal beer scene. For anybody who hasn't been in the Mexico scene, I'm pleasantly surprised by the whole craft beer scene.
So am I.
The people have been amazing. The beers have been fantastic. I would dare say phenomenal, which I'm trying not to say as much. I said I went too much.
He says that a lot.
Yeah. And I'm really, really excited. And I'm really excited for more beers that you guys are coming out with that we just talked about here. And it's super, super exciting. So I do want to take another trip back here. I want to bring more people with me. So you guys can take 90% of the market. You know? And then make it to BMW. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for being on the podcast. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for the amazing beers you guys brewed. Thank you for inspiration. The story you have on your website. And it's, we can continue sharing that. We talked about it for a long time, how it was amazing. And you guys come to New Mexico. Come check out Albuquerque. Come check out BOW Arrow. It has to be your first stop. If not your last stop, definitely. Definitely check them out.
Get here before you leave.
Yeah,
don't
definitely
leave
check them
without
out.
coming to Bone Arrow.
With that,
3-sip rule.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 sips.
minimum 3-sip rule. Buy all the beers that you can. Take home with you. Everything. But you guys have a great weekend. Don't drink and drive. Take a lift. And come to New Mexico. Peace.